WTF? What's the future with your host Mark Becker?
Greetings and welcome to WTF. Now, most of us know what WTF obviously stands for, and when it relates to AI, it couldn't hardly be more accurate. In fact, if you don't feel like what the you know what when it comes to AI, there's sort of a problem because AI is going to disrupt all of our lives in more ways than you could possibly fathom. And I know a lot of people are jumping on this doomsday wagon, thinking that it's going to become like a Terminator movie. It is extremely unlikely that will happen, and I'm going to talk about why in future videos. But I, for one, am very optimistic about AI, and I want to share with you why as we go through different episodes. But I want to give you an example of just a couple stories for me quick on how I became more optimistic. But my background is I've spent thousands of hours studying this stuff because it's one of my primary passions. I'm very curious and eager to know what's going to happen with our future as it's looking very disorganized, divided, and potentially a lot of problems coming up. So it's best if we sort of understand the implications of AI. So obviously I am doing the WTF for what's our future because I want to educate you on that. And I primarily read and listen to information from the CEOs, the owners of big AI companies, people that are very involved with it, the engineers involved, people that are just in the normal workplace that you and I see every day and how it's affecting their careers and that type of thing already in many ways, in very positive ways. I realize that there's artists and that type of thing out there that are very frustrated, and understandably. I think that we're going to get to a point soon where human art, whether it's music or ballet or um, writing, poetry, anything is going to become more valuable if it's generated by a human versus AI. So, don't lose hope in that. I very much believe that people are going to recognize quickly that, yeah, you can get some really, really cool stuff generated by AI, but in the long run, it doesn't have the authenticity tied to it that it would if it was done by a human. It's just like football. I can see the novelty of humanoid robots, beating the hell out of each other in the field for a short period of time and being exciting. But eventually people are going to realize that it's like, well, this is kind of stupid because, these things are obviously far beyond our capabilities. It's not even fun to watch anymore. Um, just a quick example of how it benefited me in the recent history here. I purchased a home that I'm tickled with, and I needed to paint pretty much the entire place when I moved in because that was one of the things that was in need. And I wasn't sure what color to go. So what I did is I took photos of all the photos on my walls, the paintings, canvas art, the wood work that I've done. I've got an old grandfather clock from when I built when I was in high school, and I want to reintroduce that into my main living area space again. So took a photo of that, as well as my furniture, colors, carpet, rugs or whatever I'm going to lay. And I asked AI, which paint color should I choose? And it picked one that I used, and I'm beyond belief happy with how well it blends with literally everything. And it saved me a lot of stress, and it made me feel a lot better that about spending that kind of money on paint because it's not cheap, as well as the number of hours that I put into painting the place. And I couldn't be more happy with how it turned out. You can kind of see it's called sea salt behind me here, behind the TV screen. But in any case, that's just one example. Let's say you're into beauty as a female or something, and you're a hairstylist. You could take a photo of your client and basically say she wants this, short, sexy, sassy look kind of thing. What do you recommend? And it could generate multiple options in a hurry for you to look at and, offer to her if you feel comfortable doing that style. Or for your own good, as a person, if you, let's say, I'm not really comfortable with how I put my makeup on, I'm not that great at it. take a photo of your face and say, hey, I'd like to look more, plain Jane girl next door or the sexy goddess goth or whatever. And it'll generate stuff that, again, is beyond belief. And I don't care what your career is, other than being a waitress, bartender, nurse, something where people are going to definitely want that human to human connection. Chances are in the very near future, and I'm not talking 10 years out, I'm talking 2 years to five max, you're out of a job. I mean, it's crazy, but I really believe it's coming that fast. And those that have been super optimistic about this have become more optimistic because we're right at the bottom of the hockey stick curve, if you will, if you look at a graph, where we're just at the very middle of the curve where it starts to rocket up. And I'm telling you, it's right around the corner. We're not years away from this. So I'm out there trying to get people to get on board because really, if you don't embrace AI, it's going to run you over. And you're going to feel negative energy and fear and that type of thing because those people that do embrace it are going to be the ones taking the jobs that remain. And not only that, but they'll be excelling in different careers because there's going to be a shitload of opportunities also created with this. And financially, yes, it's going to be a bad situation for a short period of time until our, political leaders get on board and realize that they have to pretty much start offering up UBI, Universal Basic Income, because millions of people will be out of a job very shortly. And this will help a lot. But we can get into a ton of stuff on this, but again, I'm very, very optimistic when you look at, 5 years out. And the big thing is we need to transition to that 5 years in the most pleasant way possible. And if we don't, you're going to have rioting in the streets and you're going to have a lot of people that are just extremely fear-based. And there's really no way that anybody can shut this off. I know that, a lot of people think, well, let's protest against it and I don't want it. I get that. I really do. But it's not going to happen because any country that embraces this and succeeds in it is going to be the leader, whether it's militarily, whether it's economically, whatever it is. And, the best thing that can happen to us is for us to be the leader in that, or at least tied close. I think China is absolutely our biggest rival for this. And so it's balls to the walls. And I know you got people like this Aaron Brockovich that they made that movie about, and that's all great. But I honestly think that by people like that getting super involved in trying to stop or slow this down or get into lawsuits over it is going to only create more tax dollars stripped from us in order to fight those battles. I really do. I think that I'm not saying that you should just give up on it and not try to help. There are things, but you'd be amazed at what they're trying to do to make this transition more pleasant. There is realistic hope that they're going to be putting a lot of these AI centers, the majority of them, into space in the near future, which then doesn't need water for cooling, because I know that's a huge thing that a lot of people that support the planet, not being destroyed environmentally by AI and the water usage. But what they don't realize is that AI is helping us to figure out ways to turn salt water, desalinize salt water, to become fresh water for us to drink way faster than we'd be able to do it on our own. So there is pros and cons. There is a yin and the yang to this. And all I'm suggesting is that I hopefully can help you understand that there's a lot of benefits. And what I recommend highly for people now is to get yourself engaged in AI, like start up with Chat GPT, or I know a big one now is Claude, which I highly recommend for a lot of people. I personally use Grok just because it's kind of what I started with, but they're all have their pros and cons. But my point is, just on a personal level, any question you have, It's like an intellectual friend. It really is, that can answer most questions already. I'm often amazed at the most complex questions I can come up with, and trust me, I've got a very unique mind. Uh, it's able to help me decipher and break down and understand better, and I've never known anybody ever that's been able to help me do that in the efficiency that I'm experiencing now with utilizing AI on a regular basis. So again, I'm not saying, these people that are out there against it are bad. I'm not at all saying that. All I'm saying is that it's going to come full bore, whether we like it or not. And we have two choices. One choice is I'm going to try to get on board and embrace this, or I'm going to fight it and be fear based, and it's going to run me over, and it's just going to be a bad experience for me because it's coming anyway. I mean, really, that is it. That's your only two choices. So I hope you join me on this journey. And I don't know how frequently I'll be making these videos, but hopefully I'll be making them pretty often. That's my hope, because I really think people need to get this message. And feel free to ask questions in the comment section, or if you really feel compelled and you want to talk and ask questions, I'm open to interviewing people on here as well, or having them interview me for that matter. Because quite frankly, like I said, these conversations need to happen, and I know a lot of people that are against this have the same feelings that a lot of other people do. And so I'm not afraid of you coming on and asking me a lot of hard questions, so other people that are in the same boat can benefit from that. I'm going to try to keep these videos shorter, 10, 15 minutes max, because I realize it gets difficult to listen to somebody babble on much longer than that, and I want it to be effective for you, not boring. So with that, thank you for watching the first one, and welcome to What's the Future?